Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for October, Friday 15th, and starting with the NASDAQ here just to get get our bearings on this current situation. Obviously we can see the market is strong. We'd like to still confirm that somewhat, but I think that we need to look at this in two ways. First of all, we'll look at it as being bullish, as a WXY here for wave 4 being completed. But I have to note that it hasn't pulled back to its 38.2% retracement level. So we'll also need to understand that this whole leg down here in 3 waves may be just one leg, the first leg, and then we have a second leg and a third leg down here to complete. So we need to be careful that this here is just not, this can be a WXY on a smaller degree of structure, and then we can have the X wave here. So a W, X and Y here for wave 4. Now it may not be the case, but we need to manage both cases. So we need to manage the bullish case of continuing to the upside up into wave 5, and we also need to understand this move here as being just a corrective rally and then a move down at that point. So we need to understand both of them and at what point in time that we need to be concerned about that so we can manage that situation. So on the upside here for the NASDAQ, if we do consider this being a wave 4 here, then we would need to look at this being wave 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here. And then what that means is that, if we were looking at this as a corrective rally here, then we could look at this as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here, pulling back to the 61.8% or a little bit higher at these old highs here around the 78.6. So, but I think that the main thing that we need to do here to understand at what point that we'll know that what we've either got a wave 3 here or an X wave here that's going to come down at that point is because from this low here, all we need to do is count 5 waves up here. Once we got those 5 waves of 1 and 2, I won't go into any detail here, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 3, then we could say that anything above past those 5 waves here, then we would be bullish at that point. But this little run up through here, we just need to be careful about that. Obviously a lot of folks will have long trades in there. I've got some in the S&P, which from around this breach of this high built in. I won't be adding any more, but when this moves up into this space here, then I'll exit that, and then I'm just going to sit back and wait. And I need to wait to see if we get a bearish an impulse pattern to the downside, or we get corrective. Now it will take a little while because even as a corrective move we would be looking for 3 waves here, so that means we can go long above here, so to speak, so it'll just take a little time to figure out that little bit in here. I know we have opinions, but I think there's a good case that there's a good case for wave 4 being in place. There's a good case for this wave 4 not being in place yet. So we need to be careful up here. We don't want to be overconfident here. We just really want to gather evidence in this little space here. That's the nutshell of what's happening. Obviously this is a reflection of what's happening in stocks. So we need to carry this idea through into the stocks, and each stocks will be a little bit different. Some will be more bullish than others, and some will look a bit more corrective in their rallies, and some will look more impulsive. So it'll be a little bit of a mixed bag, but generally speaking that's what we need to get past. So just to rehash that, from this wave 2 to wave 3 here, I mean this could also be another wave 1 up here, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, but it doesn't make any difference. It's just that 5 waves that we need to understand. Okay, let's go and have a look at some stocks. So with Amazon here, we're going to call all the lows for the stocks in, but as I mentioned, we need to understand certain things. So in this particular instance here, the time that the NASI gets up to its 61.8%, then for this stock here, then we would need to be careful around from that high to that low into that one there. We could also take it from the top there as well, but I think just one step at a time. So in this case here, we can see that it's got a push up here. So it really needs to take out that high there just to prove that it's going to have the next leg. Also too, with the trading levels, we've got a major level here at number 3, major trading level 3. Then we've got 1, 2 and 3 here, minor levels, and they make up group 1. So a nice tested support with a little classic trading levels pattern on top of the 3 there could also send us long as well. So let's go into the tick chart and look at this. So we've got a W, X and Y here, and yesterday we were looking at this being an A and a B and a C to the upside here, and then looking at this as 5 waves down. But it does appear that this is going to make a new little high here, but it still can be an A wave, a B wave and a C wave, you know, moving up here for a larger B wave in that 50-60% retracement level. So we need to be a little bit careful about this. If you wanted to trade long here, then yeah, because I think we've got here probably from this low 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here and 3, 4, 5. So there'll be another 2 little things here. There'll be this one, and then there'll be some sort of test back again at that point. So it's a little bit like that. So I don't know, it's probably better to just to get in sort of on the open, really, if you're going to get in, and then we can just manage that situation with a stop at this point below here. So let's just put that in, shall we? That's the 61.8%. Let's just pop that stop there for a moment. We can refine that as we go, but that will just keep us safe. So at least you know your initial exposure, or you'll know how many shares to buy based on your percentage capital of risk at that point. So knowing your entry point and your stop, and if you're risking, you know, $200 for the trade or whatever, you'll know how many shares you can buy with that type of thing. Yeah, but otherwise, looking at it in a more bullish light, we'll have wave C of Y of 4 being in place here, and we'll need to look at this as building to the upside. So it's a little bit unproven, this one just yet. So obviously we'll need to get more things. So, you know, it takes courage to buy at this particular point. It's not a fantastic setup. So I'll leave that with you at this point. Google, this is the daily chart, so we're going to call also the wave 4 in here, and we're going to look to the upside here, so we'll be looking above the 3000 in that case, and we can go to the tick chart. So in this case here we've got, I'm just calling it in here with an A and a B and a C for the wave 4 here. We also looked at this as a bearish case too yesterday, but I think the day before that we also looked at it on the 10 tick chart. Yeah, so we looked at it here as being wave 1 up here and wave 2 coming back and then moving off. So that seems to be the right count in this case. Yeah, I'm just checking, so coming back here. So we've got 5 waves in this move here. We've taken out the top here. Yes, it can be an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here. So going long here would be really over this side of the fence here, so to speak. So that means it would need to allow that little 5 waves up here to finish. So I might just go back to the 10 tick chart here just to have a bit of a look at that a bit closer, okay? So we're just going to use this one here, and we'll use this one over here. So probably wave 1 and 2 in here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5. So there's probably a little bit more fluff to go in here for this, you know, but what we're actually looking for is a reasonable pullback here, you know. So it's probably not the top in. There's probably another top to go here, so we'll bring that over here. We could probably buy the pullback in this case, but we'll just start with wave 2 here. We'll see where the other markets are at that point in time, just to see if we have confidence that this is going to be corrective and not impulsive to the downside as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. It's a bit short for a C wave, I have to say, but yeah, more likely the wave 1 scenario there for that. So we'll just pop that in there. We'll leave that there for the time being, and we'll do a little bit more work on that. But yeah, so just check again. Yeah, I think that's just the top of the third wave there. So we still need that 5th wave in, and that little 3rd wave, 4th wave. I think that's the case. Okay, so let's just go back here to the 100 ticks. Yeah, so we'll just leave it like that, and we'll look for the top to come into play, and then we can go long on the B wave, and that way it'll help confirm it as well, you know. Because in you know, Thursday, this is where we need to be careful, because the idea of the bullish weekly cycle, if you understand that a little bit, it's on our website. We're in a bullish market, we'd always look for Thursday to be the bearish day. So in a bearish market, we would look at the reverse of that. So seeing this strong rally on the Thursday, and then the Friday just to finish it off, the Friday morning, you know, so we could have a turn lower. So that's why we need to be, if Friday closes, wherever Friday closes, that's likely what's going to happen to Monday as well. So if Friday closes weak, well then Monday's probably going to be weak, you know. It's just a transition of change to a certain degree, like the weather. So yeah, if Friday closes strong, well then Monday's going to push up as well, so you can keep an eye on that. This trend line coming through the top over here, that will be a little bit useful over here as well, because if it ducks down below here, then it'll try to get support back on it over here as well, and could help with a bit of a setup. So let's move along a little bit. So Apple here, once again, we're going to look at calling the low in place here as a WXY here. Once again, it hasn't pulled back to where I wanted it to pull back, so I just need to be a bit mindful of that. So I have to understand this here. You know, I don't want to be, you know, I can see that there's not enough evidence to call either one of them in. Do you know what I mean? In from my view of things, you might know something that I don't, and that's fantastic. Good for you. But for me, I need to be careful. So I need to look at this here. I need to treat it as impulsive, as a trader, we need to enter this market, but also understand the risk that this X wave here could also play out and turn the market lower as well. So yeah, we'll know in due course, but we just need to, you know, it's good not to get lost in it. If you think that, you know, if it's going to be really bullish and you get in and it turns, well then it's, you know, it's a bit of a pain really. So let's go to the daily chart and pick it up. So for Apple, as I mentioned, I'm going to look at it as a low in place. Now that means that this would have to be wave 1 and 2, and that would be 1 and ABC back for 2. Now, is that correct? We don't know. You know, I mean, all of this can just be an ABC for the A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here, and then fail at that point, you know. That's the thing, you know. So in this move up here, this is what we need to understand if you're long in these. So I was counting it up as 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave. I can see that's wave 1, 2, 3 here, wave 1 and 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, bit of an overlap here. So coming to the end of the session and things look a bit, you know, stalling, but still missing one more little move here. But if you can just kind of imagine for a moment that we've got this, and this, it will take us to 145, and then we should see a correction at that point. An ABC correction at that point, or we just come further down at that point. That's the thing, or we go up from that point. So what you'll be left with here is you'll be left with this high and the second high to go long on at that point, because if that's breached, of course, we'll be going higher. So yeah, you just need to understand. So most of the markets will look like this. You know, they don't quite have their tops in play yet. But that's how the trend is across the board in the indices, and also stock as well, which is creating the situation. So that's where we are. So you'll just have to realize that we're at a top and it needs to pull back, and then at least you'll have that top to go long on, and or the second high to go long on. So you just need to be careful over this sided thing. Okay, that's pretty much how it is for all of them. Square is a little bit different, but with Square here, I have to say that I still think the correction is down here, because this wave 4 here, this one, the previous wave 4, that's how big it is, and this one here just seems a bit smaller, you know, where it should be bigger. So in this case, I think there's a good case for you know, for this to occur. So I haven't called the low in for this one here on this chart anyway. So let's just go to the tick chart here. We've got the 250 to work with, so it's good. So in this case, I'm just from that previous low here, and I had counted this up as 5 waves, as 3 waves before, and now counted up as 5 waves. So I'll look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here. Now it's a little bit small compared to wave 3 and wave 5 here. So, but it fits. It's sort of okay. The other thing that really sort of shakes me here a little bit is that this move down through here is 5 waves. So, you know, what do we do with that? I mean, it's not like we've taken out the top here, so it is possible for this market just to fold down at that point and leave this here as an A wave, a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we were counting for yesterday. So we could just come down through here. Let's just look at the bullish side for a moment though. If we look at this here as 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave, fourth wave, and then the fifth wave. So we're really looking at a classic trading levels pattern here. So if we do push up through here, first of all, take that top out there, and then this nice 5 wave structure here will have to resolve in some way. But in terms of making money, then we need to be, if we get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, right, we get this just a high above here, so it may not go that high, but then we'll be left with an ABC pattern. So we can go long above this high here, of course, that would be fine, or if we can get the second high. That's what's going to separate the situation from, you know, coming back down at that point. So we need that. That's going to be the sort of the change in trend at that point. Okay, so Facebook. So once again, we can call a low in place for Facebook. We've got our W and our X and our Y, but like I say, we still need to be careful that it's not over here in this situation. You know, that's the other possibility for this. So that's why we need to be a little bit careful and just take things step by step. In this case here, in terms of the trading levels, we've got 300 here, which is a major trading level 3. Then we've got minor group 1 here, which is 1, 2, and 3. If we get support on top of 3, then we can look at going long. But otherwise it's trapped in group 1, and we just need to be a bit careful about that. But let's go in and have a look. So in this case, we're looking at from X here. We can go an A, B, C here for the A wave, an A and a B and a C here for the Y of 4. So we can have this in here as a low. Now we need to. It's not like we're making a new high here or anything, and the wave structure up here is a little bit dodgy. So yeah, we just need to be, we can count it in 5 waves. I've got wave 1 here, so we can count it as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and then going up for 5 as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we've either got an ABC here to the 50-60%, and then we're going to roll over. But all I can suggest here is that I can see that this is bullish corrective, so that means that we'll be making a new high here. So don't chase that, just let that play out here, and then once it plays out, all you need to do, the length of that will be somewhere between that length and this length here, somewhere in between all of that, which will probably take you up to 33 here somewhere at the top. That this is minor group 1 here of 10, 20 and 30, and then you've got subgroup in here, so you've got 31, 32 and 33 there. So probably won't find support on 33, but if it does, then all the 3s rather, if it finds support on all those 3s there, that one, then you know that the market's going to go higher at that point. So that's the good thing about understanding the number 3 and group 1 on the long side. If that becomes the support, then it's going to be leaving this number here. So let's just put that in there for a bit. Put that there. So that's something that if you can't understand anything, but you can see that as being supported, then you know that we're going to continue going up at that point. But otherwise, we'll look at this being another little wave to the upside there. I'll just clean this up a little bit. So that's probably the ABC here, and this is probably 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So we'll see 3, 4, 5, and then 4 and 5 up there. So really it's this ABC pattern here that you're looking for. So that's where you can go long from on that second high, if you can see that. And that will take you higher at that point. But that's also where it can fail as well. So that's why you really need to be careful. You may just want to split the bet up, put some on here and then some on top of this 33 when it becomes support, and then start building from then on at that point. Okay, that's Facebook and Tesla. Well, yeah, no change here. We're expecting it to move higher, and it's sort of, well, it's in fact, it hasn't moved that much compared to the other markets, has it? I mean, this is a daily chart, but it also too down here we can note that it moved up on lower volume as well in that point. So I might just go to the 4-hour chart where we've got a bit of a picture there for this. Still looking at it as corrective, as the A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave. Now this can also be a top too. On the tick chart we've got it as a top, but this could also play out further here as well, based on extending wave 1 to the upside here. But we're expecting it higher, so that's all good. Let's just go to the tick chart and check on that. So in this case, we're just looking at wave 3 here and 4 here, and this is probably not the right case, but it'll just give us a bit of an insight into where we can look for a top in this instance anyway, even if that is wave 5 or 3 here. But 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here, and then sort of building up through here into the third wave. So still, that would be 1 and 2, that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's the third wave. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, so we're just finishing off this one. This will be one more high here, then a thing, and then this one over here, and this one, and this one, and then we got this one. So there's still a climb to happen here for this, which is good. So another little move up here, 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 and here, something of this nature. So getting support on top of group 1 here will be significant. But that should just sort of chuff along, continue to move along a little bit. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.